Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news in the Flint water crisis. The Michigan Supreme Court ruled that charges against former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder and several others must be dismissed. Thank you for joining us this noon here on your Tuesday. I'm Rhonda Walker. The court ruled on Tuesday that a judge had no power to issue indictments under a century-old, rarely used law. The ruling would wipe out charges against former Governor Snyder, his health director, and 7 others. So let's get to Rod Maloney. He joins us now live with more on today's ruling. And it's a big defeat for Attorney General Dana Nessel.
Absolutely, Rhonda. Here is the decision here. It's about 18 pages long. But you'll remember the twists and turns in this case. The case originated with the former Attorney General Bill Schuette. He had an attorney start working on an investigation. When the Attorney General finally came into office, Dana Nessel, she then fired that attorney, Todd Flood, and then initiated her own investigation. And it was her decision to go with that one-man grand jury. That is the name of it. And she moved forward. The one-man grand jury initiated charges against the governor, his right-hand man, Rich Baird, Nancy Peeler, who was part of the Health Department, Health and Human Services, and also Nick Lyon, the director. Felony and misdemeanor counts to all of them. The governor only with misdemeanor, but felonies for everybody else. And so what this does is that it says that entire case that it's been years and hundreds of thousands of dollars spent against has been upended. And so we're going to take a look now at some of the things that the Supreme Court had to say in this. And by the way, it was a unanimous decision. In one of the portions of it, it says, quote, a Genesee County judge served as a one-man grand jury and considered the evidence not in a public courtroom, but in a secret star chamber comeback. That is rather stark language in this. The one-man grand jury has then issued charges. To this day, the defendants do not know what evidence the prosecution presented to convince the grand jury, i.e. juror, to charge them. And that is usually in any criminal case what you get, and that's what they argued in this case. Now, Nick Lyon, they say, further argues that the state does not grant the judge conducting the inquiry the authority to issue indictments, and we agree. Finally, it says it seems that the power of a judge conducting an inquiry to issue an indictment was simply an unchallenged assumption until now. Very strong words, actually, from the Supreme Court. And again, I reiterate, it was a 6-0 decision. And so now it is up to the Attorney General to decide how to proceed here. We contacted the Attorney General's office. They say that they are reading the opinion and working on some sort of response. We might get one perhaps by the end of the day. But what the Supreme Court did was it now remanded it back to the courts in Genesee County. Now, there are so many twists and turns in all of this. We're going to be speaking to Rich Baird, who was the governor's right-hand man, his attorneys who led the charge in this. We're going to be talking to them this afternoon, and some of the other people involved have been scheduled, so we'll be working on that. So we'll have full details and is the best update that we can possibly have for you coming up on Local 4 News at 4, 5, and 6. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Well, Rod, of course, this has been several years for the families in Flint to want to hold people accountable who are responsible for this happening. So what is this? What would we say to them?
Well, you know, one of the issues and one of the questions that are unanswered at this point, in noontime anyway, is what is actually going to move forward, because there is a statute of limitations on a lot of these. And so the clock is running on all of this. So what can they do? How quickly can they get charges either reinstated or moved? We don't know. Certainly we'll be talking to residents of Flint. In fact, we're on our way up there now to talk to Flint residents to get their reaction to this as well. And we'll see. We simply don't know, Rhonda, but certainly we'll stay on top of it.
It sounds like a lot of legal wrangling is going to be taking place as well. All right, Nick. I'm sorry. Sorry, Rod. Thank you very much for that. Have the morning show on my brain, apparently. New at noon, for a third straight time, a Detroit City Council vote on a tax break for Dan Gilbert's latest Bedrock project has been postponed again. Today's vote was delayed at the request of Bedrock, though, who withdrawn its request with plans to bring it back up at another time. The $60 million tax break would go to the project on the site of the former Hudson's department store. There's a proposal on the table to give Bedrock $6 million in tax savings for the next 10 years. Construction of the project is expected to finish in 2024, about 2 years behind schedule. Turning our attention now to Brandon. I don't know if it gets much perfect than this. I mean, temperatures in the low 70s. It feels great out right now.
I'd love to hit the pause button just right here,
Yeah.
right now, just San Diego out there. But it will get a little bit warmer. Settle. Had to use my Jedi mind trick there. Low 70s, very little humidity, and a degree or 3 warmer than yesterday. We hit 77 yesterday, so a degree or 3 warmer than that. But again, low humidity, light winds, badly needed rain nearby, but not in the forecast for us today. So you need those sprinklers once again. 76 at 2 p.m. 80 degrees our high temperature today. We are tracking a little Wednesday wet weather. Rhonda, we'll do that coming up.
Okay. We'll see you here shortly, Brandon. Thank you. Turning now to a tragic discovery in San Antonio, Texas, where at least 46 migrants were found dead inside of a hot semi-truck trailer yesterday. Officials towed that truck away from the scene this morning. 16 people that were inside of that cab are hospitalized, including 4 children. 3 people were taken into custody following what appears to be the deadliest case of human smuggling in modern U.S. history. Homeland Security is now in charge of the investigation. And over to Missouri, where a collision between an Amtrak train and a dump truck killed 3 people on the tracks and injured dozens more. You can see the drone video showing the aftermath of that crash, which happened at a railroad crossing near the city of Mendon. This is a couple hours outside of Kansas City, Missouri. There were 243 passengers and 12 crew members on board that train when 8 of its cars and 2 locomotives derailed. Of the victims, 2 were on board the train and the other was the truck driver. A monumental Supreme Court term is coming to an end. The court ruled on Monday on an important religious speech case as fallout from Friday's abortion ruling continues. Abortion rights supporters are scrambling to protect access to the procedure. NBC's Chris Pallone has more.
Judges in 2 states have blocked new abortion restrictions for now as people on both sides of the issue try to figure out what's next in the post-Roe era. With President Biden in Europe, members of his administration insist they're still working to protect access to abortion in the wake of Friday's landmark Supreme Court decision.
We're going to continue to do everything we can to make sure you receive the care you need.
Right now, abortion is illegal with few exceptions in at least 7 states, and soon at least 6 more are also expected to ban it. The administration dismissing for now an idea to provide abortion services on federal land, but says states should not interfere with abortion pills sent through the mail.
We will do everything within our power as an administration through the executive branch to ensure that women have access to the medication they need.
Abortion rights groups have filed lawsuits against trigger laws in at least 8 states. Judges in Louisiana and Utah have temporarily blocked new abortion laws from taking effect. And while the latest polling shows 56% of Americans say they oppose the Supreme Court's decision, Republicans are celebrating the ruling.
What the court did, in effect, was return this very controversial issue to the people and their representatives.
With a consequential term now drawing to a close, the Supreme Court's conservative majority Monday expanded religious rights.
I'm still in shock. I mean, it's just great news for the entire nation.
Ruling in favor of a Washington high school football coach that his public prayers on the 50-yard line after games are protected by the First Amendment. With angry protests in the streets and polls showing the majority of Americans did not want to see Roe overturned, Democrats hope that translates to election victories in the fall during the midterms, but Republicans point out that their voters are motivated by this issue as well. In Washington, Chris Pallone, now back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. In less than 1 hour, the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol will hold a newly announced public hearing here at 1 o'clock. The panel says that it will present recently obtained evidence, but didn't offer anything specific. Lawmakers say that future hearings will focus on domestic extremists who breached the Capitol and what former President Trump was doing as that violence unfolded. You can watch the hearing today. Again, it's at 1 p.m. on Local 4 and Local 4 Plus.